Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smash Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Girl MF Michael Fletcher alongside my good buddy Anthony Florio. First off, everybody, happy Valentine's Day to the loved ones out there. Hope you guys are having a great day. For myself and Florio, just a typical day. We're ready to go. You guys already know how we're gonna do this. TNA Impact, Smackdown Live, and yes, the latest edition AAA, Lucha Libre Sin Límite. There was a show here today, a show that just went down about a couple of hours ago, and we're going to talk about that show here tonight. So we got a loaded show, not a lot of time to do it. It's probably going to be just me and Florio, Michael Bullock out. Commitments beyond our control. So it's probably going to be the two guys running the ship here tonight. We start out with TNA Impact, and we started off with a match. There was a promo segment at the beginning. It was with Moose. We're not going to get into that promo. We're just going to focus on the matches themselves. It was Nick Nemeth, the wanted man, going up against all night long Rich Swann, and it was the wanted man, Nick Nemeth, winning the match in 13 minutes and 10 seconds. A solid opener. Very good matchup. Look, I enjoyed it. I thought the body of work was excellent. I thought these two really worked well with each other. Nick Nemeth winning the match. No big surprise here. Time of the fall, 13-10. Easily 3.25, 3.5 stars is my rating for the matchup. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
All right, MF. Thank you very much. And yes, indeed, happy Valentine's Day to all those who celebrate. And 3.5 to 3.75 of a star for me. That finish was great as Nick Nemeth timed it perfectly for a good win. Nemeth could be moved into a bigger spot soon, and beating a former world champion should help him. At the same time, Swann is a former world champion who has nothing going on right now, with basically no momentum. I'm not sure I see that changing for him anytime soon, though he had a very good match here. You could call this fight of the night if you wanted to. So 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. So with that being said, MF, let's move on to our next match.
Second fight of the night, as it was a one-on-one match, an Albuquerque street fight, as it was Mirazade going up against Ryan Nemeth, and it was Mira winning the match in 8 minutes and 39 seconds. Anthony, it is yours.
2.5, 2.75. It was not particularly good, but this should wrap up the feud. Sade was in her hometown and got to beat a comedy goof, so it was not like she had any reason to lose. Ryan Nemeth is the definition of someone who can get beaten like this and not fall in the slightest because he had nowhere to go but down. Mara Sade has gotten some nice TV time out of this, though, and that's a good sign for her start in TNA. So 2.5, 2.75. MF, your thoughts?
2.5, definitely solid matchup. Could have been better in certain elements, but there was really not much there to say. Now we go into, believe it or not, the main event of the evening. This was a very short show, to say the very least. It was Mike Santana, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Moose, Jeff Hardy, and Matt Hardy. And they went up against 4 members. They went up against all members of the system. It was Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Beer Bronson, and Cedric Alexander. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 20 minutes and 57 seconds was the system. Yes, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Beer Bronson, and Cedric Alexander gets the win. Fight of the night. And I'll go and say this. This was without a doubt this may be TNA's fight of the year. Like, that's how good this match was. This was 4.25 to 4.5 stars. I'm gonna go more 4.25 because this was amazing. Great wrestling, great action. It was all over the place, just the way we like it. And the outcome, yes, you could say it was a little bit surprising, the system getting the win. But at the end of the day, this also serves a lot of purpose. This makes the system a very dangerous group in TNA right now. And as a matter of fact, I could say, could we be looking at the system maybe taking a takeover of TNA, going after all the belts? Remember, Eddie Edwards currently holds the Feast or Fire case that guarantees him a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So he could get that at any time. Anytime, any place, anywhere, he can catch that in. And bam, Eddie Edwards could be the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. The other guys, they might have to earn their way to the title shots. Obviously, the international title is in play. The tag team titles are in play. Hell, the X Division title is in play. You don't know how they're going to play this out, but I could see maybe by the end of the year where the system may have all the gold in TNA. I'm just putting it out there. I think the system's going to have all the gold in TNA by the end of 2026. I know that might be wishful thinking, but I got to put it out there because I believe the system may have that kind of a run where they might just take over TNA. Anthony, 4.25 to 4.5. I'm more on the 4.25 side. Fight of the night, possibly the TNA fight of the year for now. Obviously, there's a lot that can change between now and then. But more importantly, I'd like to get your thoughts about my, I guess you could say, crystal ball prediction of the system taking over TNA.
I could see it. I 100% agree. 4.25 stars. I agree with the rating. This was the fight of the night. You need that much time if you're going to have so many people involved in the match, and it helped a good bit here. Bear Bronson getting the win is certainly a big deal for him and a nice welcome to the system. If nothing else, it might give the Hardys another set of challengers, which they could certainly use. Moose is going to need to get some revenge, though I'm not sure who the big final boss is supposed to be. Eddie Edwards in theory. So that's all I can say on that. 4.25 stars. This was the fight of the night. I'm going to go ahead and start the opening, the overall review here. 7.5 to 8 out of 10 is my rating for this. The opener and main event were good, and the middle match was goofy fun. I liked most of the show and can even overlook the always dumb Eric Young stuff. Other than that, I'm not sure how much this did to set up No Surrender, but TNA didn't seem to be treating that as much in the first place anyway. A nice show here with the solid wrestling carrying things. This was a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. MF, let's get your overall thoughts, and then we'll move on to Smackdown Live.
I'm going to say 8 out of 10. I thought this was a real good show, solid episode, and I really liked the body of work on everything. 3 matches. I know a lot of people's like, it should be more wrestling oriented. You got what you got, and I can't complain. The main event, 20 minutes long. The first fight of the night had over 10 minutes long. Even the Sade versus Nemeth in the street fight, almost 10 minutes long. I think like overall, it felt like a nice fluid pace. It didn't feel like nothing overstayed its welcome. And I really felt like the body of work and the action was really good. So I'm not going to complain. I thought this was a very good episode of TNA. And TNA needs to continue this path because if you've been hearing, the ratings are actually up for TNA. TNA is actually doing really good in the ratings. They've been averaging about 800,000 views per week on AMC. They've been at, which is even better than any of the numbers they've done on Access TV way back in the day. And as a matter of fact, on a year-to-year basis, Anthony, and listen to this, on a year-to-year basis, TNA is right now over 30% higher than they were just 1 year ago on Access TV. So you're looking at the body of work and you're thinking, this might have worked. This game plan of them going to AMC may have actually worked. And this is a great benefit for TNA to be at where they are at right now.
Bigger network. That's all it is. I mean,
yes.
Access TV is like some sort of independent network. I mean, for I know there are some people out there who still have cable in the whole 9 yards. I mean, MF, I know you do. I know
Yep.
Bullock does, and I can't say the same for me because you know what I have. So
Yes.
I easily had
Oh,
Access TV, but
yes.
because Access TV is not on Cox Communications. I mean, I think it's on all the. I think
Actually, I
that's
no
the
longer
only
have
major
Cox.
provider that does not carry it that I know of. I mean, I know
I know
Dish
Verizon
Network
does.
does,
I know Spectrum does. Dish
Dish
Network
Network,
does. Yes, I know
DirecTV.
a lot of different companies. Yeah, for some odd reason, Cox does not do it. But Anthony, I want to let you know I don't have Cox anymore. I got rid of Cox back in August of 2025. You already know the reason
Oh yeah, that's
why.
right.
You
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
so
I know what you
I
have.
no longer have Cox. Yeah,
I forgot. That's right. Yeah, Bullock still does.
yes.
So
Bullock
I know
still
Bullock
does.
still
Yes.
does.
Yes.
But obviously you were able to get Access TV for those remaining months
For a little bit. Yes. Yes. Yes.
until they made the move. So, but anyways,
Until yep.
but all major cable providers, they do carry AMC. That is for certain, and everybody can see it now. And I know Bullock's got to be happy about that. And but that's a
I
big
think
deal.
I was the biggest. I think I was the biggest. I think I was more happier than ever when I heard AMC got TNA because finally, if you were a Cox subscriber, you're finally going to get to see TNA wrestling. And look at the ratings 825,000 last week alone.
Wow, 30% more than this time a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's because you're on a much bigger network. That's it. I mean, Access TV, no, hardly anybody has it. Unless you have a direct TV or a Dish Network or all the other providers and some of those streaming providers, YouTube TV and Hulu and Live TV and other providers for on the streaming side of things. But still, I mean that is awesome for TNA. I mean, I if this keeps up, this could end up being their biggest year yet. I mean, I know they had a lot of down years in time, but you know, it's the biggest network they've been on since they were on Spike TV. Let's not forget that. I mean, after Spike TV, where were they? Destination America, Pop TV,
Yeah.
and of course Access TV. They did well on Access TV. They had a good number of years on Access TV. They did fairly well, but this is huge for them. I mean, this is the biggest net. This might be the biggest network they've ever been on. So AMC, that's pretty dang good. So Carlos Silva and the crew must be doing something right if they're averaging those kind of numbers. So and all of this despite the fact that these are taped shows. Go figure that. These are taped shows. So they do live shows once in a rare while. I think sometime in March it's supposed to be the next one. So but yeah, congrats to them. And of course maybe the whole thing with NXT, I think that might be helping out too. So and tune in Tuesday night, Ridiculously Raw. I'm going to have the results of No Surrender, some of which you're not going to believe. So, with that being said, MF, let's get into SmackDown Live.
All right, I got to make a small indemnity. I made a major mistake here, guys. So up to this point, since they've started the TNA shows, they actually have done a total of 875,000 through all the shows that they have done up to this point. So on their last episode, which was last week, so they've been increasing week after week after week. So basically the January 22nd drew 171,000. Then they went up to 201,000, and last week's episode drew 241,000 in their ratings. So their ratings is actually getting better and better and better week in and week out. We have not seen any numbers yet for this last episode. So we don't have official number. Oh, wait. Do we have an official numbers, or is that just the? Oh, that's just the results and the. So they haven't put out the actual ratings yet, but up to this point, they've actually have risen to about a quarter. So basically, they've been averaging 250,000 views higher week after week after week. They're going. The total up to this point has been 875,000. So for all the weeks that they've had since they've started with TNA, the total number has been 875,000, which still is a remarkable number. I mean, that's a great number for TNA. So if they're averaging, if you're thinking about it, you're doing almost 225 to 250,000 a week. So you times that by 4, you get 1 million people watching your product each month. That's the start of something really good. I mean, I know if you're like WWE or if you're like AEW, you're like, come on, we could probably do 1 million a week in like nothing. That's nothing. That's a flash in the pan. For TNA, you know, and I know, and everybody else knows, TNA is kind of that third company that behind WWE and TNA. I mean, behind WWE and AEW, TNA is, relatively speaking, the third company. And they kind of need to really kind of mold themselves into it. And I think with these numbers, it gives me reason to be optimistic. I think that's the best way to say it. I'm optimistic about TNA's future right now. So I'm excited. I'm excited for TNA. I think they're going to do good. So we'll see. All right. We're going to dive into Smackdown Live right now. And we're going to start it off. There was a promo segment by Tiffany Stratton that was interrupted by Lash Legend and Nia Jax. And then it was interrupted by the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And we had the tag team title match. The match gets thrown out at 11 minutes and 15 seconds due to a double count out. And the reason why the match got thrown out was because they basically brawled through outside the ring. Nia Jax and Io went through a table, and then Lash Legend and Rhea Ripley basically went through the security wall by where the timekeeper area went, and basically the referee got thrown out. The match got thrown out, and it was wow. All right, 11:15. Normally, in any other instance, we probably call NA on this. We probably would. But I don't think I can. This was easily 3 stars. I know we could go higher, but I got to punish it for the non-finish. But this does serve a purpose. This opens the door for us to run this back. We can do a rematch. We can run this back at any time, any place, anywhere. This match was good. It was solid. Now, I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, I'm a little worried about Nia because she took a horrific bump. If you saw what happened to her, especially that with that table spot, dude, her spine and the tailbone went through that table, and it was a bad landing for Nia. Like Nia, I feared the worst for Nia Jax. I thought, oh no, she might be in real trouble here because it didn't look like she was moving for a little bit. And I got a very nervous Anthony Florio, especially after this match was over, for Nia's health than anything else. But this match was solid to good. It just never got to that next level because once it got there, the rug got pulled out from under us. But it was a necessary ending. they could definitely run this back.
11 minutes to time.
11 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's okay. 3 to 3.25 for it. I mean, disappointed by the. I mean, non-finishes are always, frowned upon here. Well, for me anyway, I hate non-finishes, but the only way I accept them is if they make sense in the context of the story here. So, as far as this match is concerned, it's hard to say exactly what it was, but it felt like this match was missing something that would have made it more exciting. The champions never felt like they were in danger of losing their titles. The most exciting part of all this happened once it was over. The brawl afterwards between all four women was more entertaining than the entirety of the bout, if I'm being honest. So, 3 to 3.25 stars. Nothing much more to say. MF, let's move on to our next match.
All right. And with that said, the next match on the fight card here is we had Carmelo Hayes. Basically, this. Oh, actually, no. It was supposed to have been Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov for the U.S. title, but then the MFT showed up and it exploded. So it ended up being a 10-man tag team match. The MFTs going up against Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, Shinsuke Nakamura, Apollo Crews, and Matt Cardona, the winners of the bout in 14 minutes and 30 seconds, the MFTs. Tama Tonga talked down Carmelo Hayes. Anthony, you know what that means.
Last time I checked, that sounds like a championship committee moment to me. So, and what was that time again? You went a little fast.
14:30.
14:30. 3.5, 3 3/4 for it. While the match was relatively predictable in how it played out, it was also kind of fun. They sprinkled some great spots into the match, and seeing Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov on the same side was entertaining. Tama Tonga able to secure the win for his team by pinning Carmelo Hayes, which could put him in line for a title shot, championship committee moment. Wyatt Six appeared in the crowd after the match, but there was no altercation. I'm not going to say it kind of felt like we got robbed. It did feel like we got robbed since we didn't get another Hayes versus Dragunov match that would have stolen the dang show. And it's nice to see Apollo Crews back in the fold. It felt like he disappeared for a long time with no explanation or reason. And it's wild that Tama Tonga has had less than 10 TV matches in the time he has been with WWE. He is easily the most underused member of the MFTs. So 3.5 to 3 3/4 star. Big, a huge win for the MFTs. Tama Tonga especially, because they will put him in line for a U.S. title shot down the line. So not much more to say. Tama Tonga getting the win. You know what that means. Yeah. So not much more. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was good. It was a solid match. It is a 3-star bout, no doubt about it. I'm not gonna waste any more time on this one. We're just gonna move right on along. Next up we had was Alexa Bliss versus Julia versus Zelina. Triple threat qualifier. Winner goes to the Elimination Chamber, goes to Chicago in the UC. Alexa Bliss wins it all. She's going to the Chamber. 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Solid matchup. Another 3-star bout. And all the women did a really good job with this. This was a solid matchup, to say the very least. Alexa getting the Sister Abigail on Zelina for the win. And more importantly, Alexa Bliss now punches her ticket into the Elimination Chamber. And look at the star-studded power you got now. Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss. Ooh. Ooh. Guys, it's starting to set up that we may have an all-timer on our hands. Like, we got 3 women who you can legitimately say could win that chamber and get a shot at the women's title, whoever the champion may be. Because remember, Liv Morgan has not decided yet on who it's going to be. We don't know if she's going to pick Jade Cargill, the reigning women's champion, or if she's going to go after Stephanie Volker and the women's world title. She hasn't really hinted yet. We're all thinking it's going to be Stephanie she picks, but we don't know yet. We're still waiting. So, and oh, by the way, Liv was there. She was on Smackdown this past week. She was in the building. So chalk that as what you will. So nothing more to say. 3 stars. Anthony, the goddess, Alexa Bliss. She's going to the chamber. She's going to the United Center. She's gone to the UC, the Madhouse on Madison.
She is indeed. The only thing I can say to that is, oh my goddess. How about that? Which is what I always say when she comes out anyway. You know that.
Oh, yes. I know how much you love her. I know you're a big fan of Alexa. Yep.
3.25 stars for this. These are 3 talented competitors, so they didn't waste any time kicking things into high gear. It didn't feel like any of them were a lock to win either, so that helped make the outcome a little more unpredictable. Kiana James and Charlotte Flair did not have much of an impact on most of the match, and it ended with a clean finish when Alexa Bliss hit Zelina Vega with Sister Abigail for the win. Considering there are no DQs in this kind of match, it was shocking. WWE resisted writing more interference into this. So the only thing, couple quick things here. The double underhook suplex from Julia looked great, but I couldn't help but notice there was a bit of a botch with Alexa, a little off the mark on her finisher. So it looked weird when she sold it as a counter from Julia, but we got 3 of them in there now. We got Tiffany Stratton, we got Rhea Ripley, we got Alexa Bliss. And this Monday night on Raw, you can add either Natty, Bayley, or Asuka to that mix. Natty would be kind of meh, to be honest with you. But either Bayley or Asuka, if it's one of those 2, that's another big one in there. So that could go either way on Monday night, and we'll get into that on Tuesday as well. But yeah, big win for Alexa, her biggest win in a long time. And Joe Test mentioned something on commentary that had Bullock and I, because Bullock and I, we did our SmackDown chat last night, and it got us a little surprised when he said it. Alexa Bliss has not held a women's world championship of any sort since 2018. Can you imagine that? 2018, the last time Alexa Bliss held a major women's world championship. And that was the Raw Women's Championship. And ever since she dropped it to Ronda Rousey at that year's SummerSlam, she has not had a sniff of a women's world championship ever since. She's had some shots at it, but has never won it. So, well, she takes one step closer to getting that black mark off her, but we'll see what happens. So, Tiffany, Rhea, Alexa, and MF on Monday night. You can add either Asuka, Bayley, or Natty to that mix.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, to say the very least. Yeah. It's an agree. I think it's a 3.25 star match. You definitely got it right. Alexa being in it was the right choice, and I'm very happy about that. So we'll just move right on along. And Anthony, you lead off on the next one. Trick Williams one-on-one with Rey Fenix, and Trick Williams wins the match in roughly 12 minutes. So, Anthony, it is all yours.
3.25, 3.5. These two worked well together to put on a decent match. There was not some big feud behind this, so it was nice to get a bout that felt like it was just two guys trying to prove who was better without some deeper conflict behind it. Second half, a lot more exciting than the first. Ray Phoenix put up a good fight, but Trick Williams took him down with the trick shot for the win. Trick Williams did a good job working around the what chance. Springboard dropkick from Ray Phoenix looked really good. And Trick Williams has always been great at working with smaller guys who favor a high-flying style. So, big win for Trick. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. That's the best I can go with it. So, onward and upward for Trick. So, he's got a huge match coming up next week when MF gets into the house cleaning. So, when MF sets the table for next week's show. So wait till you hear what match he's going to be in next week. Oh boy. So not much more. MF 3.25, 3.5 for me.
Yeah, 3.25, 3.5, no doubt about it. This was a solid matchup to say the very least. Body of work was solid. Great action all the way through. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely. I thought they did a great job with it. So we do indeed move on. Next up on the fight card, well, one of the reasons why we wanted to watch this show last night, the WWE Women's title was on the line. The champion, Jade Cargill, putting the gold against Jordynne Grace, winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and still the WWE Women's Champion, Jade Cargill. Very good match. Very underrated. I love this kind of a matchup because this was kind of strength versus strength, power versus power. And this was an excellent matchup because it basically played the narrative of both women. This was a solid matchup for both. Neither looked bad in this. Jade just figured out she was able to put Jade in, but she had to do it with one arm because she couldn't get the full veracity of it because of the fact that she was so beaten up, you know, in that moment that she did a one arm move to sell. Plus, on top of that, Jade was also selling that, you know, she got her arm wrapped on that ring post earlier in the match, so it looked fine for what it was worth. Obviously, Judgment Day was there. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Dominic Mysterio was there. So they were kind of there watching the whole thing. And yeah, so solid matchup. This was about maybe, I'll say about 2.5, close to 3. But Anthony, 10 minutes and 30 seconds, the champion remains the champion.
Both women have a lot of power, but Jade Cargill had the height advantage, so she had a bit more leverage during certain moves. Jade Cargill still has some things she needs to work on, but Jordynne Grace did a good job masking some of her shortcomings. It was not pretty, but it had some highlights. Jordynne Grace looked especially good during some of her feats of strength. Judgment Day did not end up having much of an impact on this match, which is a good thing. And Jade Cargill scored a clean win with the Jaded. And Dom and Liv, in the spirit of Valentine's Day, they had a table set up with chicken nuggets and roses. And the back body drop onto the barricade looked painful, very much so. And solid 3 stars for me on this one. No surprise that Jade retained. I mean, after all, it was hard to believe her first title defense since winning the title all the way back on the 1st of November on that Saturday night's main event, which he took it off of Tiffany Stratton and it ended her epic run. So, well, we'll see what happens. I think ultimately Liv is going to go with Stephanie Vaquer, and I believe whoever, and that will set up the winner of that women's elimination chamber match to then earn the right to challenge Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Who wins? Well, I don't know. We got to see who else qualifies first. So, not much more. Solid 3. MF. I believe we get into the most anticipated qualifying match of any qualifying match in history, but I do believe you have some housekeeping to do to set us up for next week, if you can.
Yeah, we got some housekeeping to set us up. Okay, guys. Last week, on Friday, it was on Sci-Fi because USA Network is covering the Olympic Games, and next Friday we're back in Sci-Fi again. We're going to be from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's where we're going to be this time around. Next week's SmackDown will once again be on Sci-Fi because the Olympic Games will still be going on, but they're going to be getting closer to the end. This one was kind of more of a, this episode. This episode was kind of like the halfway point. The next episode is going to be day 14 of the Olympic Games. So we're going to be getting very, very close to the end of the Olympics. By this time, the week after, we'll be back on USA. But 2 qualifying Elimination Chamber matches, 1 on the men, 1 on the women. On the women's side, we will have Kiana James, Nia Jax, and Charlotte Flair in one match. On the men's side, next week we got is the United States Heavyweight Champion Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, and Damian Priest.
Trick Mello gang
in a qualifying. Yeah.
The Trick Mello gang. Uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly. Trick Mello gang. They're about to go at it. Here we go. This is what the fans have been waiting for. So we got that. And we also got one other. Kit Wilson. Boy, what were you thinking? He has challenged Obafemi 1-on-1.
Nice knowing you, Kit.
Yep. You could have left well enough alone. You know that, Kid. You could have left well enough alone. You didn't need to do this. You didn't need to go down that road. But you wanted it. You asked for it.
Why are you poking the bear?
Nick Aldis is like, okay, you wanted this. I'm not going to stop you. Good luck, my friend. I could already hear my boys right now. Oba. I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it already. I can hear the crowd. I can hear the people because we do have some viewers watching this show right now, and I can hear the Oba chants going. So I know it's happening. I know it's going to happen. So the ruler on SmackDown, obviously, Obafemi was offered a SmackDown contract. Nick Aldis tried to talk to Oba, asking him about wanting to come to SmackDown, what it would mean for him to come to SmackDown, and he offered him an official contract for him to be on SmackDown, bro. Oh, if we can get him. Oh, God. Nick, I hope you made the greatest pitch in the world, man. Please. Dude, it'd be nuts if Obafemi comes to SmackDown. He is listed as a free agent, folks. If everybody's wondering, he's actually listed on the WWE website as a free agent. So he is not linked to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live. He is legitimately open for anybody to grab. And this is why I'm like, oh, come on. Make the pitch. And Nick Aldis made the pitch. He offered Oba the contract. And then they said that they'll run it. They'll talk more about it next week. Do we got the leg up? Nick, did you give us the leg up? Did you kind of give us the ruler? Please tell me you got him. Please tell me you keep talking right now because, dude, I am going to go mental. I am going to lose it if Obafemi is on SmackDown Live. I'm telling you guys, you thought I was insane when, God, when was the last time have I lost my mind like this? Probably since Nakamura when he showed up on SmackDown. Like it was the night, it was like the night where I absolutely lost it, like lost my mind. So
I remember.
Yeah, Florio remembers.
Yeah, dude. It was that first SmackDown after WrestleMania 33.
Yeah, in Orlando.
When Miz and Maurice were cosplaying as John Cena and Nikki Bella. So
yes,
I remember that very vividly.
Anyway,
Nick Aldis may have the first shot, but don't think for a second that Adam Pearce is not gonna make a play for him either.
Oh no, I'm almost certain he's gonna make a play. I'm almost certain about that. Absolutely.
Who knows? Maybe Monday night in Memphis on Raw.
We'll see. All right. Main event. We wanted, you talked about it, Anthony, the most highly anticipated main event, one of the best men's qualifying matches we've ever seen on either Raw or SmackDown. This one's an epic one.
Pay-per-view main event anywhere in the country.
Yeah. Hell, anywhere in the world. Sami Zayn, Jacob Fatu, and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, the winner of the bout, in 21 minutes and 50 seconds. Cody Rhodes is going to the Elimination Chamber. He will be in the match. And my goodness, look at the names we now have on that lineup. LA Knight, Randy Orton, and now Cody Rhodes with 3 spots left. Oh, Anthony, it's all yours. 21-50. Cody wins it.
4 1/4, 4.5 stars. Fight of the night. They had more than 20 minutes for this match, so they had no problem making this fun while still taking the time to sell the bigger spots. They usually had one person sitting out while the other two fought and would take turns, but they also had moments when all 3 men were fighting. As it looked like Jacob Fatu was going to win, Drew McIntyre came out of nowhere to hit a Claymore and take him out. He also hit Cody Rhodes with one and then put Sami Zayn on top of him, but the American Nightmare kicked out. Right after Sami took out Drew with a haluva kick, Cody hits Crossroads to get the win. And the disaster kick Rhodes hit on Sami looked great, and they did a good job keeping McIntyre's appearance hidden until the last second. And well, look at the sides here. Now we've got Randy Orton, LA Knight, and Cody Rhodes. And Monday Night on Raw, we're going to add either Javon Evans, Dominic Mysterio, or Gunther.
Oh.
MF, can you imagine if it's Gunther?
Oh, yeah.
Orton, Knight, Rhodes, Gunther? And then either Priest, Mello, or Trick on top of that.
Yeah. I mean,
good.
It's getting good. The lineup is getting stronger by the day. And I gotta say, I got Gunther winning the match on Monday. I'm just putting it out there.
Yep, I do too.
I don't know who to pick for that triple threat, though. I don't know who to pick between Mello, Trick, and Priest. I want to say maybe Trick to win it, but I don't know. I really don't know who's going to win that match. I really don't. That's the harder of the 3, because I could see, I honestly can see Damian win it, and I know there's a lot of people that wants Damian to win it, selfishly. But I can see Trick Williams wins it. I think Mello's is out. And it's not because he doesn't deserve it, because I think he deserves it. But I just don't see him winning. Yeah, I just don't see him winning that match because I think they're going to set him up for something bigger. Where I think Trick and Damian are definitely meant for the chamber. So I think this is how it's going to go. But I don't know. This is it. This is the hardest of all the matches up to this point.
Definitely. Well, we'll have to wait until next Friday night in Fort Lauderdale to find out. But this was 4 1/4, teetering on 4.5 stars. Joe Tess on commentary was absolutely awesome during it.
Yes.
You gotta, I mean, especially that power bomb through the table spot. Oh. And then towards the end, that's when he really kicked it into high. So 4 1/4, 4.5, excellent match. It lived. This had high expectations going in, and boy howdy, they delivered. Outcome, I know for some the outcome is going to seem predictable, but come on, did you really think it was going to be anybody other than Cody Rhodes? No, it wasn't going to be. But we'll see what happens down the line. So right now, Cody is my favorite to win the chamber right now. So
yes.
But we'll have to wait and see who else qualifies. It's very much looking like Gunther. If it's not Gunther, I'll be shocked. If Dominic or Javon ends up winning that match, I would be wow. But that triple threat next week, that could go either way. But it's either Damian or I think it's going to be Damian myself, because I've heard. I mean, I'm hearing a possibility of maybe Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams for the U.S. title at WrestleMania. So it could happen. It could happen. For that to happen, the best way for that to happen is for Damian to win the qualifier Friday night. But we'll see how it plays out. So 4 1/4, teetering on 4.5. MF, like I said, high expectations for this match going in. And should we be surprised that it over delivered? I'm not.
No, it was without a doubt a great matchup. Drew McIntyre did try to get involved to try to take both, to try to take out both Cody and Jacob, and it backfired because obviously Sammy didn't want to win that way, and he tried to take him out, but it led him over to get taken out, and that was the end of the match. 4 1/4, 4.5 overall review, 8 to 8.5 out of 10. Excellent Smackdown Live. This was an incredible show, to say the very least. I really got nothing more to say on this one, Anthony. To me, 8.5 is all yours.
I'm leaning a little more towards 7.5 to 8, but I'm right there with you. Last night's SmackDown did some legwork building up the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, while also featuring 2 title matches. I'm not as high on the show as you are, MF. There were some matches that a few of the matches kind of failed to stand out, and the ones that did only stood out because there was so little competition for the best fight of the night. Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, and Sami Zayn had the most memorable performance, but Trick Williams and Rey Fenix put on a fun show also. Had one of the titles that was on the line changed hands, this would have been a newsworthy show. But Jade Cargill, still the WWE Women's Champion, and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, still the Women's Tag Team Champions. The lineup for Elimination Chamber is shaping up to have some heavy hitters, so hopefully both chamber bouts will live up to the expectations. I'm more 7.5 to 8, but that's all I can say on it. So solid show. So not much more. MF, AAA, what do you got?
All right. With that said, it was a show tonight. So we had La Parca going 1-on-1 with Jack Cartwheel, and La Parca won the match in 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Short matchup, nothing more to say. It was fun for what it was worth, but we'll see what they'll do. And coming up, we did say that we'll say that we did have one other thing coming up, and the next thing that we did have was we had a matchup, and it was for a 6-women tag. Fabia Pache, Adelicias, and Jassy Jackson. They went up against all 3 members of Los Toxicas. Famar, who is the reigning, defending Rey de Reyes champions, La Hiera, and Lady Maravilla. And it was Los Toxicas winning the matchup in 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Then they talked about, what went down in the what went down with El Grande Americano, and him becoming whatever, winning it. And El Grande Americano, the original El Grande Americano, vowed that he was going to win the AAA Mega Campeón, win the Rey de Reyes, and go after the title. We'll see how that plays out, but we'll move on. And now we go into the main event of the evening, as it was Los Americanos, Rayo and Bravo, the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, and the Money Machine, Garra del Oro and Camalo de Pata, sorry. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 9 minutes and 27 seconds was the War Raiders. They now become the #1 contenders for the AAA World Tag Team Championships. They will get to fight the Psycho Circus down the line. But after the match was over, Murder Clown came out and started yelling at Pagano and Psycho, "Hey, get out of the ring. Something happened. You got to come with us." And what happened? Dave the Clown got jumped. Dave the Clown was basically beaten up so badly that they put him in an ambulance and they hoiled him away. And people are wondering, who the hell jumped him? We don't know who did it. It's a who's done it, but somebody has it out for the Psycho Circus, because this is already 3 weeks in a row that a member of the Psycho Circus has been taken out. Somebody's got an axe to grind. Somebody definitely has the Psycho Circus on their radar. We just don't know who the hell did it. And we're still trying to figure it out. 3 weeks ago, it was Psycho Clown himself got taken out. Then Pagano got jumped. Tonight, Dave the Clown got jumped. Who the hell is doing these attacks? And who is responsible? Who did it? We're going to have to find out. That's how the show ends. And that's how our show is going to close here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. As always, here's the recap here's the setup for the upcoming week. On Tuesday, it's another edition of Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. He'll start off with the TNA No Surrender, I believe is the name of the show. No Surrender, the recap for No Surrender. Then, obviously, we'll have Monday Night Raw, and we'll also have NXT recap. Then on Thursday, yes, Thursday, we're bringing back the traditional TXN Sports World. We are going to be going knee-deep into NBA All-Star Weekend. This is all about the All-Star Weekend. We're going to talk about the Futures game. We're going to talk about the Futures game. We're going to be talking about NBA All-Star Saturday Night. We're going to be talking about every event from All-Star Saturday Night, and specifically the three-point contest, the slam dunk contest, because those are the two events that we always look forward to year in and year out. And then obviously we will also recap the NBA All-Star game itself. The game is tomorrow afternoon, 5 p.m. Special start time, 5 o'clock as a part of the NBA on NBC. So we got that. And then obviously, if there's anything else we're going to bring up, we might bring it up on that show. And then on Friday, after SmackDown goes off the air, come on back. We're going to do another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We're going to talk about TNA. We're going to talk about SmackDown. That will be at 11 p.m. Eastern once SmackDown goes off the air. All right? Get it? Got it? Good. For Anthony Floyo, I'm Michael Fletcher saying so long, everybody, and we will see you all on Tuesday night for Ridiculously Raw.
Goodbye.